Alright folks, so now we will be trying to implement our SCADA screen and try to communicate it with the simulator over here, right? So first I have disconnected that. So just a quick recap to that. In my connection manager, I have my MODBUS connection over there. I have my station defined and I have three tags which are defined over here, which are tank temperature 1, 2, and 3, right? Right. So now I'm going to go and design my screen so that I can visualize what is happening at the SCADA site, right? So let's go to the new design over here. First, I'm going to add three text box, and the reason for that is because I'll probably insert some values into those box, right? And this is my third text box over there. So I've got three text box, and those three text box are basically the three tank temperature values, right? All right, so now I have to define the tag for this one. I'm gonna go right click on this guy over here. It's not opening up. Yeah, properties, value, and I will define that the value over here has to be the tank temperature one, right? Then I'm going to go the same with the other two boxes, which is properties, value, and it is defined as tank temperature 2. The third one is properties, value, tank temperature 3, right? So the three values are defined over there for the tank temperature. Now, in order to have like good visualization, I'm going to use a gauge over here as well to basically see what is my tank temperatures over there, right? So I'm going to just copy three gauges. So yeah, so I've got three gauges over here and three values over here. Now I will define some of the properties for the gauges first. So again, the gauge should have a value of tank 1 temperature. The second one should have a value of tank 2 temperature. The third one should have a value of tank 3 temperature over there, right? All right, so like I always say that as far as instrumentation, automation, and control engineering is concerned, you would be more focused on the communication and about like the system should work, right? But speaking from practical experience, you would have to be designing these screens which are actually good for an operator to use, right? So there's like tons of aesthetics things that you can do with the SCADA screen so that the operator has no doubts like in any sort how to manage the control or how to manage the plant, right? Right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go to this properties again, and I'm gonna go to the wizard to probably just change a few things over there in terms of the aesthetics, right? So the gauges that I have over here is on the frame. I would probably say that it should have a glass effect, so it will look like more realistic gauge over there. And what I can do else is that the scales over there, maybe labels, not necessarily. Hmm. Pointer markers, input behavior. Yeah, so input behavior, I can do what dampening, right? Which is like the actual gauge. When it turns from one value to the other, it dampens, like it starts to damp at the last point, right? So I'm just enabling the dampening behavior over there for this pointer, right? All right, seems good so far. Finish, and I'm gonna do the same, right? You can see the difference between these two gauges. The one is a bit glossy, and when we read the value, it will probably dampen, whereas this will not. right? So I'm going to leave the center one as it is, and I'm going to do something different with the third one so that we can understand the change in the behavior or appearance. Again, I'll probably place a cross effect outside container. It doesn't really matter. For scales, I can use labels. I can do a lot of things over there, right? So shape is trapezoidal, crosses there, pointers, needle. So needle style can be like tons of them. There can be thick needle as well, and there can be this speedometer part. There can be marker as well, which is rotating. There can be a bar, which is going. So I'll probably just pick the needle and pick a different style needle, which was 10, which is an arrow size. You could reduce the cap size, which is the knob in the front. You could increase that. You can even have the cap reflection coming up, which will be slightly very low. You could have cap removed. Yeah. Ranges, you could define that, numeric indicators, state indicators. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can play with just to make sure that your design is good and the operator is able to use that. And I'm going to finish that now. So I probably have three gauges, three text box, and all three of them would have the same value of the tank temperature, right? We have enabled the historical thing. So I'm going to go over here and add a chart over here for historical data. So this will open up one of the charts. I'm going to expand that over here. Yeah, so properties, and I'll probably go to value. Series is not selected. So for series, oops, sorry, it should be like properties, value. For series 1, I'm saying it's tank 1 temperature. For series 2, I'll say it's tank 2 temperature. For the third series, I'll say it's tank 3 temperature, right? So the three series that I have on the graph are now three tank temperatures over there, right? What else can I do is I can go to properties, I can go to text, and I can go to tooltip, and I can define tank temperatures. That will be the heading of uh, the PDF report or the Excel report when we will generate, right? So I'll show it to you later on, but yeah, so far I've just used the text tooltip, and that will be the heading of the report, right? Nothing else. So I have to find that over here as well. All right, so I have done the properties. Now I'm going to go again, and in terms of the wizard, I'll probably make it look a bit better in terms of the aesthetics. So we have chart type over here, 3D. If I enable that, that would be a lot coming up. Appearance, that you can have a grayscale chart, maybe a berry chart as well. I probably use that. Let's see. All right, so for series, rather than access legends, right? So legends are already there. 1 2 3 point labels are there. Chart title, we can change that to tank temperature, right? And for series data, there is like nothing, right? So I'm gonna go on series data. It's saying it's series 1, so I'm gonna change that to tank 1 temperature, series 2 tank 2 temperature, series 3 tank 3 temperature, right? So these are some important things that's help you in visualization. So we have tank temperatures, we have tank temperature on top. That looks a bit too much on the blue side. I'll just pick the current or from the designer. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll have values coming up over there in terms of that uh, when we are running that system, right? All right, so yeah, that is how you can design your SCADA screen. I think so far so good. And now I'm gonna run this first, the PLC connection. So I have clicked the connect button over there, and the connection is good. I'm gonna open up the MODBUS simulator and see, yep, it's good, it's running over there as well. and the screen has been established so far. So now I can go and play my screen and throw that to the operator. Right. Do you want to use screen one as a startup? Yes, we can define the startup screen, but I haven't defined that, so it's okay. All right, it says not responding. I'm gonna wait for a second. All right, so it says 88, so it's on the 88. It's 555. It's gone beyond that range. It says 98. So I'm gonna change that value to maybe 55 and press enter. So you can see it's jumped now to 55, 22. It's at 22, right? If I change that thing to 66, probably go over there. 33, you'll probably go over there as well, right? Right, the scale that is being used over here is like a 2-minute scale. That's why the reading that is being coming right now, it's very low, right? So if I put it 88, or maybe the historical value, yeah, the historical value that we assumed was on changes, right? So now it's going to plot the changes only. So I'll do one thing over here, I think. I'm gonna go back to my connection manager and I'll probably go to, oh, it's not connected. I'm going to do that again. Close everything. Open up the Modbus. Try to connect it now. Yep, all good now, but probably disconnect that because I want to change the historical thing from triggered. For every minute, every hour, every day, only value change triggered periodically. I'm going to check better how it will work periodically and build that SQL thing. Right. Let's go back and try to reconnect it now. All right, it's running. It's showing 00. If I pass, let's say 5 over here, it's going to read the value of 5 and it'll stick to 0, right? And let's go back again to run our screen as well. All right, so now we are in the runtime and now every values are 0. Because we have the historical thing, it's going to keep on saving that data, right? All right, so if I go and change something like 55 over here, it'll probably go to 55 over here, and you can see now it's continuous, it's going in the line, so it's keep on changing the values. The scale is small, you can adjust the scale in the settings of the wizard. You go for 6, it's gonna change, and it's here, it just pop up. You can see this blue line over here, it's at 6, right? And it says at 55, the value says that. If it's 75, so the third value would be over here from 75. All right, what would happen in real life is that you will have a PLC which is sending you the temperatures value, right? So the PLC value would give you say like 67. So you can see your SCADA screen will be updated according to that 60 seconds, 57, and you will have the values coming up over here. What else you can do is you can right click on that and you can go into the zoom feature and you can define just the time and the date, right? So I just wanted to see from 57 to 58, I can do that. Or maybe if I wanted to see from 46, 11:46, I don't need that all data, right? So I'll probably go to 11:54. And yeah, this is the data that I'm seeing right now, which is just for that part, right? You can press reset and that will be again in the continuous waveform. Other features are you can export Excel file. If you click on that, you can save an Excel file and you can just have that data. You can export the PDF as well, and that will be a good report generation. When you export the PDF, you would have a file with the values that have been shown over here. So you have to define the range from the zoom feature to basically extract your desired point. All right, that's all we can do with SCADA screen communication with PLC. I hope that's going to help you in designing your task.